have you. Where's the radio button? Oh yeah. You have a suit? Good job. You have a suit? I do, if it'll reach. Oh, fuck. No, fuck it, don't worry about it. Let's take that thing off it. Yeah. Yeah, you're good, you're good, you're good.
All right. Test.
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 You don't need to test.
Well, yeah, we're doing it.
We're all on the same channel. We're sending, yeah, this just one board goes to him. Basically, we have two accounts set up.
It's just playing along.
One. Okay. Okay, we're live, and we don't have any echo. Let me try and share this. Good morning, everyone. We're live.
Test, test. Hey, folks. Bill Strong here, ChampCar.live. Let's give you another update here. So we had a lot happen when we went offline. The Bimmerline, the 336 Bimmerline BMW is still in first place, but he has been caught by the R-Bank Racing Saab. And the reason they got caught was we had a big crash up in turn 11 with the SRI number 67.
Driver's fine.
Yes, the SRI 67 car went into turn 11 just a little quick and tried to overcorrect and backed it into the fence into 11.
Significant damage.
Yeah, significant damage to the car. It's like a banana. But they that made the field go full course yellow with a pace car, so they had to bunch everybody up so they could fix the fencing and the tire wall. So that bunched them all up, and now that and Bimmerline came into pit lane and did a fuel stop and driver change, and then went back out. Well, they got held at the pit out because they were their pit stop a lot quicker than 5 minutes, so they got held until their 5 minutes was
Well,
up.
and even before that, the 336, while leading the race, was black flag.
Yes, that's right. It was black flagged for passing a car in the grass under the bridge.
Two wheels off, yeah.
Under the Nissan bridge.
So they brought him in, and no time penalty, just to stop and go. It's like, hey, don't do that again.
Yep. And that was it didn't seem very significant at the time, but it was. So so we've got some cameras moved around. That may not be the Bimmerline car.
You know, it looks like the lead is stabilized for Bimmerline at
right around the 115 mark.
Oh, I think in car one, but let me check. I thought I swear I wrote it down.
Well, you changed it when he came in the last time it was down, right? And you must have waited down there for a while.
Well, I sent it somewhere. Okay, in car one is Bimmerline. In car four is car number 694. Okay. That would be our Bimmerline car.
So Steve Remchek is asking, Bimmerline driver change before 10 a.m.? No, they pitted not that long ago and did a driver change. Let me see if I wrote down the time on that. There was so much going on.
I have a camera in beast mode, but I think beast mode went
Yes, they did.
So that would be in-car 2 is beast mode. What camera is that one there, Paulie? Okay, so that's beast mode.
Yeah, beast mode's currently in 20th.
And I did add a camera to a new car. So in-car 4, we have that. Sorry, folks, we had some pretty significant technical difficulties, but we're bringing you back live video right now from in-car in the
One of those
mode.
race cars.
Yeah, beast mode, which is a Honda Integra. So in-car 4 is a 694 car.
What color is that car?
It was dark.
I was kidding.
No, it was like 730.
694 is that team we don't really know that much about, Lang and Gross.
Yeah. Oh, they're up there, aren't they? Yeah, they're in 5th place.
Yeah, I don't recall ever mentioning that team or seeing them.
They were excited about having a camera in their car.
It's not bad. They're going to be really excited if they finish 5th in their first race with us.
Yeah.
I would be anyway.
So, and just to let you hear, I should go down my list of updates. Why don't you do this? You wrote them all down. Oh, no, you have
Well, I mean, I think we covered the big ones.
We want to try and put another camera in Lifeline. Everything's going off like or batteries.
Well, they're going to have to pit again, but when they pit again, let me see when they last pitted. Yeah, they pitted on lap 456 under a yellow flag. Their pit stop was recorded as 10:59, and considering pace car laps were about 5 minutes, that would give them a 5-minute fuel stop. So that was lap 456. We're on 475 now. So that was about 19 laps ago. Did I do that math right? Connor's tired when he went. I don't know. Because he's like a math genius.
My brain is locking up. The little few cells that are still awake.
I have not hit the enable editing button, so it's read only.
Jeff Douglas is asking about Ella, the 890. Doc, you had the update on that, right?
Yeah. The Ella car had some problems. They had fixed the problem. They have 4 guest drivers. And so one of the drivers at night, they had fixed
Our bank is in the pit lane.
Yep. Okay, they can go the rest of the race. This will be their last stop. So while he's pitting, there's not much to talk about. We can't see him. So anyway, driver got in the car. He had a problem. He brought the car back in. They fixed that problem. He went back out. He came back in a little bit later. And he says, I don't feel comfortable out there. Now, that's all I heard. I don't know if it was because of the dark, the fog. Maybe he wasn't feeling well, something like that. But anyway, he brought the car in. Nobody else was ready to go in, or I don't know the full story. I'm sure we'll get to it. But anyway, the driver that got out of the car pointed at Elon and says, maybe it was something in the car he didn't feel right about, because he said to Elon, why don't you get in? Go suit up and get in. So Elon got in the car. I don't know how many laps he did, but I want to say Bubba told me it was the left rear sheared off 3 of the 4 studs. That put so much strain on the 4th stud that it failed, and the car came crashing down on that wheel, hit the wheel, car came back up and basically from what I understand, almost rolled and then came back down. And that was they actually damaged part of their roll cage. So the car has been retired. And there was some other bit about a guest driver, so.
Pay attention to when the 90 car actually leaves pit lane, because he's right on the wire. He's got to leave pit lane after 10 o'clock.
They're watching the 90 very closely to see when they leave pit lane.
Yeah, because he came in at 9:55, which is 2 hours and 5 minutes to go, and I believe the official race time is probably noon. So anyway, Jerry is asking what happened to the RVA cars number 111 and 511. The number 111 car suffered a half shaft failure, and I believe it also damaged the differential. And what was the story on the 511? It spun, that's right, it spun a rod bearing. How's round 3 doing? Joe, it's kind of tightening up here. This race is up for grabs. Both our leaders are on the same lap. Well, they will be when Bimmerline has to make another stop. The number 90 R-Bank car, as you heard, is in pit row right now. Timing and scoring is looking at him. He came in at 9:55, so he has to leave after 10 o'clock because the driver can only do 2-hour stints. So they're going to be looking hard at him. Hey, Nabil. Is it possible to get an update on car 931?
That's the Cavalier, the cat car. They're in 33rd place.
Yeah, 33rd, but they've been steadily running all night. Yeah. It's not the fastest car out there. It's a Chevy Cavalier.
Very consistent.
But he's been consistent, yeah. And, I mean, my car is certainly not the fastest car out there, but we kept turning laps, and other people broke, and we finished up 14th at NCM, our best finish at the national championship. So that's what we know, Sonia. We don't know what might have happened to the car during the night, if they've had unscheduled stops or anything like that. But they're running better than 2/3 of the field. How's that? In case y'all don't know, Nabil, he runs, he's one of the owners and founders, I believe, of Just Track It. They do a lot of track days out here in the Southeast. And he's also been a driver in the Hong North, the Toyota Long Beach pace car, Supra. I think Matt Harper posted we were going to another one of your events fairly soon, Nabil. Maybe at AMP. We were just at Road Atlanta a couple of weeks ago. So I showed 10:01, so the R-Bank car, and again, we don't have the official time. But I believe we went pretty close to green at what I looked at my clock and went, oh, starting exactly on time at 12. I see Dana over there. When he's not busy, I'll go over and ask him what the official start time was, but I believe it was noon. So this should put our bank a couple of laps down, but again, Bimmerline has to stop again, whereas our bank is good to go to the finish. Show him up 3 laps. So, and the stop here, our bank had a perfect stop looking at it. They were in for 7:27. Parked near the front of pit row, so that was their out lap, was their pit stop plus about 2:30.
Right.
So that was right dead on 5 minutes in the pits. Yep. Yeah, they pitted that car once or twice.
Yeah, just a few times
Yeah.
over the last 22 hours.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, we lost Bill again. Yeah, I took the last picture. Cheers.
That's perfect. That's
He's
perfect.
gonna hate me.
Need these for blackmail in case he took pictures of me earlier.
I knew what you were talking about, Dan. This is looking at the live race timing. It looks like it was perfect at 12:00.0 is like, oops, 22.00. So, I mean, if you're Bimmerline, you work, if you figure you're in a good chance for the overall win, I would put my fastest driver in last.
So they just turned their fastest lap of the race so far. Bimmerline did.
Yeah, that driver's got to get out, though.
Yeah.
So I hope he's got another good right footer there.
We'll have to see how that plays out. Huh?
Yeah, so because, I mean, now if he's indeed got his fastest driver in the car, you just turned the fastest lap, so you assume that. Now you're going to be looking for the second fastest guy.
Right.
And,
to hold the R-banks off, yeah.
Yeah, R-Bank's fastest driver is probably in the car.
Right, and they're coming for it.
And they're coming for him. So I would personally, I had a chance for the win. Sorry, bud. I'll give you the next stint.
Right.
At the next race. I'm putting my next fastest guy in this car. There's 977, the NLS car on pit row. I don't know where he's running. I haven't really called out we haven't called out his name in a while.
I'm getting info that the 255 is dragging a splitter.
Well, the splitter's in the front. Wouldn't he be pushing it? See what I did there, folks? This is why I get paid the big bucks.
Wynham and Dunham are still out there since they put that new engine in their car. They have been just steadily clicking off laps. Of course, they're way down in the running order, but they've been out and steady running ever since.
An engine change will do that to you.
It will.
It may move you down. Unless you're like JB Bugs, that Volkswagen. Changed an engine on pit row in like less than 15 minutes. Now, of course, it's air cooled. Yeah. So they don't have to deal with hot radiators and scald hot water. Yeah, and far less things. Yeah. Throttle cable, 4 bolts, and something to the training. I think you're good to go. Oh, NLS is running in 16th place.
We've got the 346 down Sun Racing place.
Yeah, that was the only position change in about the last half hour.
Yeah, they said earlier that it was having issues.
The 346, there's a team that we haven't mentioned very much, Damson Racing. That is the car that for 9th place. They overhauled the Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. I say car. I can tell you what kind of car it is. I would help, wouldn't it? That is a Mazda Miata.
Mm-hmm.
So there you have it. And there you go. Wow. There goes Bimmerline up the middle, 3 wide. Had a car on his left and a car on his right, and another one right next to him off his rear quarter. 105 is exiting pit road. That's the Acme Racing, that Datsun 200 SX. Not that I see. This is Casey Hooper guy that joined the Facebook.
I don't know. Hi, honey.
Yeah, that clock would seem to agree. Bill is gone. I mean, not physically, he's here, but he is sacked out. He's been working his butt off. Yeah, he's next to us. He's gone. He's exhausted. He's been running around on pit row all night, chasing down stories, taking still pictures, replacing cameras. Oh, about what's happened? Sure. Well, I mean, we're starting to get some viewers. Folks are waking up and tuning in to ChampCar.live. It's must-see TV. So anyway, the night was going along pretty smoothly. We had a lot of fog on the track, but it didn't cause really any problems. Some of the cars are still cutting very fast laps out there. So long about, I don't know. I have no frame of reference until I look at my notes. Leviathan's on pit row right now. That's that MR2. Bill cheered when he saw him go by because Troy had to park his car. So anyway, so Bimmerline, our bank racing, they've been kind of duking it out, and we had some fog and stuff. Let me see if I can make sense of my notes.
Had a lot of mechanicals, a lot of yellows.
Yeah.
We had one impact not that long ago that kind of changed some things around.
Yeah, that was about approaching 9 o'clock a.m. So
the leader was brought in to have a word about his passing etiquette.
Yeah, Bimmerline passed a car with 2 wheels off in the dirt under the bridge, or very near the bridge. So they black flagged him to come in and say, "You don't do that again." He was the leader of the race, so that allowed our bank to make up some time. And then the 67 Sri Racing car had a hard impact up in turn.
I think it was 11.
Turn 11,
somewhere
turn
right in
10,
there.
somewhere right in there. Heavily damaged that car, and I mean heavily damaged.
And the tire wall and guardrail had to be replaced.
Yeah, so they had to bring out the pace car rather than the 35. And they waved some cars around that were in front of the leader rather than display the purple 35. They pulled those flags so those cars could get to the tail end of the lap. And that gives those guys some breathing room. Now that the whole field is under a pace car, they can work on that tire wall and not have to look over their shoulder. So during that, Bimmerline came in and made a pit stop. So what they did was they waved him out, and this is unofficial. I'm going by a very addled memory from a very dysfunctional brain. But
It's
anyway,
been a long race.
Yeah, it's been a long race, folks. So anyway, what they did was they kept the pace car out and let Visceral catch up to the tail end. Not Visceral, I'm sorry. Bimmerline. They let him move up and catch the tail end of the field. Now that put the R-Bank car, who was up front, that allowed R-Bank to get back on the tail end of the lead lap. And that's kind of where we've been. At first, 90 was kind of digging into the leader, 36 Bimmerline. It was 132 on lap 458. 459 is down to 126. Lap 461, 2 laps later, is down to 117. And then it's kind of stabilized lately. During this lap, right at 9:55, R-Bank pitted. And Timing and Scoring was watching him very carefully to make sure that he didn't go out before the clock struck 10, because then he would have to pit again, because the driver limit is 2 hours. Now, we have not seen Bimmerline on pit road for their final stop yet. So, you know, I would imagine Bimmerline's praying for a yellow or at least a purple 35. So they, no, R-Bank is good to go. And I was going to go over and talk to Dana about that, but I'm sure we would have heard about it if R-Bank left too soon. So we're basically awaiting Bimmerline stop and see what the gap is, and it's going to be close.
We're going full course yellow.
Oh, here we go. So let's see if Bimmerline comes in. If they think they can get any kind of advantage, they should. And typically these, you know, we've gone to yellow. That's going to bring out that purple 35 car. So cars cannot improve their position, and they're supposed to leave the gap to the car in front of them at the same distance. So even if they can duck in here, these cars circulating at 35, and it's going to take R-Bank considerably more time to get around.
Right. You can almost get a full pit stop done.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Without losing anything.
Yeah, the purple 35s have been averaging about 5 minutes.
Yeah, 4 minutes, something, 5 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they could possibly not lose that lap, and then
Right.
that would give them a clear advantage.
No, I can't. Where's Visceral pitted?
Bimmerline.
Dang it. I keep saying that.
It's been a long race.
Bimmerline is in pit 13. So that should be basically right here at the gap. Yeah, they're a little bit further towards pit in than RVA. And RVA was at this break in the wall. So we might be able to see. I think that's Bimmerline there. It's a red and black BMW.
We're going back green.
We're going back green. But even this is a huge advantage.
Yeah,
they're in.
anything.
Isn't that them right there?
I'm sure that's Visceral.
Bimmer.
All right, Bimmerline. God, why do I keep saying Visceral? Visceral is a Porsche.
Yeah, and it's out. Right?
And it's got an American flag, and this is clearly a BMW with a yellow, black, red paint scheme. That would indicate Germany, where BMWs are made, or some of them. Can't quite see the number on that car. There goes our bank by start finish line. That should be about right where Bimmerline's pitted, though. Nope, Bimmerline.
They're still out there.
Bimmerline still went out there, but they did not pit. Thanks, Connor. That's a 325 car.
They're in 4th place.
Yes, they are. That, of course, is the Team Troxel racing car. I knew that car looked familiar.
Right, right.
Because we have talked about Team Troxel during numerous races. There's the K&H Mustang. It's slightly crinkled on the passenger side now.
Slightly.
Yeah, like from the front to the back.
Right. Slightly the whole right side.
Yeah, slightly the whole right side.
When Bill was doing that walk around, it looked like the quarter panel on the left side was wrinkled too. Like,
right,
it might have pushed that whole quarter over, that whole tail end over.
So the inactive car went by a little while ago. That's that Mazda 626. They've been running in basically right on the cusp of 15th, top 15 virtually all night. They are currently shown in P15. I'd like to appeal to any of our people watching the broadcast. If you would send me ideas rather than saying for these race reports, I've about worn out P1 through P15. I've about worn out first place through 10th place. They're running in 10th place. I need more ideas.
About Cobalt?
Yes.
I love that story. Okay, what are the stories?
Oh no, what I'm running out of ideas is how to list cars in my race report, where they were running, because I'm getting tired of saying first place or P1.
How about even cars?
All the even cars. Second, fourth, sixth.
What the hell? Why not? Nobody reads
6th place
things.
is Bad Brains.
I mean,
number
you read
210.
Or you at least skim them for errors.
Have you ever heard of this team right here?
Lion Gross?
Yeah.
No, but I think it's a new name to an existing team. I don't know for sure.
Possibly a new name to existing team. Okay, for 694.
Oh, well, I could look up their. I could look up the card numbers. Oh, okay.
Okay. We didn't recognize the name.
Well, maybe they heard about the empanadas. You never know.
When I get pit requests, at least 6 to 8 teams say, "Would you quit or close to Elon?" And it's not because of like technical expertise; it's because they want the food.
Well, and I will say this: Elon's got a great crew that are dedicated to work on the car,
And they have good
and
food.
they're awesome, and they have good food. Those guys are awesome.
What did you say about an army moves on its stomach?
Yeah. But no, if any one of those guys catches sight of you having the least bit of problem, all 3 of them are over the wall to help you out. If it's pushing your car, I mean, they're constantly coming to me. How you up doing? Y'all need help? It's like, no, I think I'm pretty good.
I need you to give me a big thumbs up here.
What's that?
A big thumbs up here. All right, and the battle continues. I'm gonna send that to Paulie. Paulie, are you?
Yes.
Yeah. We're back up.
Way to go, Paulie.
Uh-oh.
Paulie's in trouble. Andrew's asking if your BMW's in the top spots. Yeah, in first place.
Yeah.
And third place. And in fourth place.
Yeah.
And in fifth place.
So
Yeah, fifth place.
So, Mike, we need you in back of Bill, and I'll take the picture. You got to be doing something like
Drop a jelly bean into her mouth.
The 919 is also a BMW. 7th place.
that would be evil. No, he came too.
Oh, Bill, I almost got a picture of you too.
I bet you that felt good. It didn't last very long. I didn't have a Sharpie.
Right now, it looks like the fastest lap time that was turned was from CMD Auto with a 2:04. If there's a lot of questions coming back about timing and scoring, it looks like the Race Hero app is not working properly. So if you go to Race Monitor, it's race-monitor.com. You can check out all where everybody's at and what their times are and all that cool stuff. They also have apps in the App Store or the Google Play Store. You can pick it up that way, get you up to speed.
Not Dana. Timing's going.
Well, I mean, we believe that 2:04 is an honest lap time turn because we've had a couple of 2:05s as well.
Right, 2:06,
So, so it's not a time that's like 10 seconds faster than everybody.
Last night was nothing to do. I pulled up the race results from 2012, full course. I started comparing fast lap of the race and average lap of the race. This race is on average about 7 seconds a lap faster every single car top to bottom.
Wow. Averaging 7 seconds faster
Than the 2012 race.
in 2012.
Was that our first 24 here?
First on full course.
First on full course, okay.
Yeah, we did full here in 2011, but it was a combo.
Have you ever had a 24 that it didn't rain?
It's great every year, even if it was just for like an hour.
This is first dry one.
I talked to a driver, said it rained up at Oak Tree. But he said it lasted like seconds.
It doesn't count.
That didn't count.
Yeah, unless your car doesn't hydroplane once, it does not count.
Unless you have to turn the windshield wipers on. Yeah.
I didn't see any windshield wipers on.
Nope.
And the drops I saw here on pit road were gone about as soon as they hit the ground. So.
I'm going to call it dry.
I guess, Simon says they love the rain and said, well, I guess this is a good one for us to skip.
Yeah.
Bill is back up.
I guess I'm back up. Sorry, I kind of passed out.
Hey, man. If anybody deserves to take a little morning siesta, it would be you.
Yeah. That's a different car. Not Van yet brought their camera to us. These modes camera.
Oh, what?
Is it in here?
Somewhere over.
I've got a message that the 901 running in 11th is dragging something, possibly the exhaust. Taking a look at that.
Yeah, the riveting commentary that we're providing. Close your eyes and pretend it's radio.
Yes.
If I close my eyes, I'm falling asleep.
Yeah, that's probably a bad idea. Just, okay, try and visualize.
I was out for a while.
I was actually talking to our listeners and watchers, our viewers.
You weren't just talking to me?
No.
Okay. Thought this was all about me.
It is. I lied. Never mind that 99 cars and drivers showed up, these idiots, to do this.
Right?
And we followed them along.
I know.
Hey, that Pontiac Solstice is still out there, turning laps. I get to do my little lap counter. We'll see if we had anybody move.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the 205 is what we have in timing and scoring. So if
the what? The who? What?
I'm looking at comments we have over on our YouTube. Someone's saying that there's no way the fast lap is under 205. I don't know. All I have is what the information we have coming back at us, man. So if that's not right, then it's not right.
Yeah, I mean, these are what we're giving you is unofficial anyway. So
no, it's not coming off their computer or whatever.
it's like a dock Sebring lap.
Oh, that hurt, Bill. my one shining moment so far in all of my Champ Car
684 leaving pit
career.
lane.
That hurt, Bill.
I'm sorry. Nope, they're coming in. Fuel driver. The 2th car is the 552
Yeah, is he out there?
right there.
Cool. That was the team that Low Tide Motorsports was helping with.
Well, we've got NLS Racing. It looks their records show they turned to 207. We've got.
Yeah, I mean we've got other cars close. If it had 205,
Poor boy turned to 205.
Down there, I might tend to agree, but
We do. We've got 2 other teams down there. Poor boy, and that's what I was saying. We got Poor boy was down there. NLS is down there in the 207. That's the information that's showing up.
Well, I've got Poor Boy. Yeah, I got CMD Auto, the Integra.
Chattanooga was down in 206.
yeah, that's that. RJ and those guys. That's a fast car, Zachary.
Bare ass turned in 209.
6 car, the 176 is in 43rd position.
So I don't know why it wouldn't be reachable. I mean,
Yeah, it's reachable. I mean, I know that Not Banned Yet has done it like a 210 on this track before. I think they did it on different tires, though.
No rain, huh?
No rain. And it doesn't look like it could possibly rain in the next 2 hours. I say that now.
1.5.
1.5, yeah. Yeah, we're getting into the home stretch
here.
90
Lifeline just as a 215.
We passed a resolution by the board of directors bill that there is no yawning allowed.
Couldn't help it.
So you're saying it's a forced démageure?
I did not hear anything. Nothing ever happened.
I wasn't awake during it, so I can't possibly follow that either.
Should go outside.
The 246 Pinky's Out is still holding 3rd place, and they're doing that without 4th gear and a slipping clutch.
Without 4th gear, he's turned into 221.
That's what I was told.
Wow.
Momentum.
That's getting the job done.
You learn to drive differently, and sometimes it's faster.
It's crazy how that happens, isn't it?
Yeah. Our slowest car on track, if you guys didn't know, we're
Lifeline just turned in their fastest lap, their personal fastest lap of 2:15.304 on lap 490. Oh, did you really? I'm sorry.
That sounded like an echo.
It's all right.
Well, I'm busy writing down things, you know. So my ear, I can't multitask. My ears shut down when my mind is thinking.
So we have a team. Let's see. It was the Chevy.
The Cobalt.
Yeah, the
Chevy
501.
Cobalt. Yeah, they're our slowest car on the track because pretty much all day, because they only have 1st and 2nd gear. .552 leaving their fuel stop. Oh, stop, Bill. Hey, whatever happened to darn it, Riley's Camaro?
Riley?
Yeah, Bill Riley's Camaro.
Which car? Which Camaro is that?
I forget the number. Or Firebird. No, it was a Camaro. It was a topless.
There's
Camaro. Didn't have a roof.
the cage gauge.
No,
No,
that's
that's-
David's.
Okay, that's Camaro.
Yeah, that's David Casilla's.
Oh, the other one is the Good, Bad, and Ugly? No? How many Camaros do we have? Oh, wait, here's another one. Racing for Heroes. That's the one you're...
Is that it? Racing for Heroes.
No.
No?
What color was it, Bill?
Right?
Fair Ass Racing is in. They've been in and out of paddock all day. Here's an 18 car down pit lane. Bulldog race. Sorry.
Sam, according to what we understand and what we've seen, yes, the 90 pit within its 2-hour window, so they should not need to pit again.
Yeah, I'm going to take a break here pretty soon and go ask what the official start time was. I believe it's going to be dead on 12 now.
Oh, yeah, we stop at 12 on the dot. Doesn't matter what the start time is.
Yeah, they'll shift that around regardless of when they started.
Effect on driver stints.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Well, we know they left it right at 10 o'clock, so...
Well, they should be fine then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll have a minute or two
The
of
other thing
grace.
I'm kind of curious about is how many cars are still making the old buzzer ring over there.
Hmm.
I don't know, what time was it, Tiffany? 12 or 2. We had 50% of the field was still running, over 50%, because they're only I asked, they can see how many cars have pinged, but cars sitting on pit road, you got to figure at any one time.
Wait, what happened? Why are we 3 gap? 3 laps?
Between first and second?
Yeah.
Oh, he'll get one of those back real quick.
Yeah, and then...
Bimmerline hasn't pitted yet.
when was their last pit stop?
Oh,
Do you know?
some time ago.
Yeah. Thinking they were the similar time pitting with
If you
Arbank.
give me a second, I got to write these laps down.
Oh, I'm sorry. He doesn't multitask well.
No, it's just I only have 2 hands.
And he's a lefty.
That's a problem.
yeah. What, should I go to resources on Monday?
Why didn't you tell us all this time?
Didn't ask on the application. and who would admit to something like that?
Exactly.
Certainly not me.
It's a thing. It's the burden you carry.
An eyebrow or 2 when I said I was 25 years old. And only because they only had 2 eyebrows to raise. So I snuck in and put that in their personal record. All right, so you want to know when they last pitted. I can't tell you the time. I can tell you how many laps they've done.
Okay.
And you can figure it out from there. It's 2 laps basically every 5 minutes.
Right.
More or less. Okay, so we're on lap 492. They last pitted on 456. 492. 456.
I'm not even attempting that. But
I am. I can do it. I can do long half. 6, 8. I carried that 36 laps ago. Is that right? I just claimed I could do something. Maybe I can't. 56.
I barely remember my name.
I did it. Yeah. Yeah, they pitted 36 laps ago. So that would be, what, 18 times 5? Half of 36 times 5.
Don't look at me.
Hour and a half ago.
What's that?
Hour and a half ago.
They pitted an hour and a half ago. Thank you. I told you this guy's a genius back here. He's a mathematical whiz. I might have been giving anybody makes us look better, so he could be the village idiot and still make us look like bigger idiots. But no, Connor's a sharp guy. All right, I'm going to go take a quick break.
All right. Sounds good.
The ball is in your court.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm afraid so, my friend.
All righty.
One hour and 21 minutes to go unofficially.
So it looks like, from what we understand, Bemerline will have to pit one more time. So that will most likely hand the lead over to R-Bank Racing. But Bemerline is hanging out there trying to, I guess, look for a yellow that they can pit under. They're going to hang out there as long as they can until they reach their 2-hour maximum.
I was really surprised they didn't pit earlier when we had a short yellow.
Yeah, it could be they weren't ready.
That is possible.
So if they weren't quite, they may have been trying to get ready and then they went back to green.
Yeah, it didn't say yellow very long. Yeah.
And Jeff is saying it looks like they're pitting.
I haven't seen them yet, but let's see. Oh yeah.
So they may be in the pits right now.
They are.
It's right
They're
now.
right now. Yep.
Okay, great. Thanks for confirming that.
They snuck in here. Everybody's just calmly looking over that car, taking their time.
They cleaned the windshield and they're just sitting there waiting for the timer to go down.
Right.
Bill is down there putting an in-car camera in the car right now.
Oh yeah. Oh, I see him.
Yes, Vernette. In fact, that question, I asked that question. I just happened to ask that same question a couple of days ago. Once you have those laps, you've got those laps. You don't have to cross the start-finish line under the checker to win the race because you've got all those laps. So it's no different for first than it is any other position.
Right.
Champ Car doesn't require that you be running at the finish, just like you said.
And they're back out. Headed to pit out.
All right. Well, if this timing and scoring information is accurate, they still have the lead. I haven't seen R-Bank come by. So they may have been able to get that pit stop in without losing the lead.
We will see.
You're welcome, Vern.
Hi, Rich.
All right, so Visceral had pitted.
No, not Visceral.
Bemerline. God, why do I keep saying
I'm going to
Visceral?
write it on your hand.
Yeah, there you go. So Bemerline got to pit out. They held them there for about 20 seconds. So R-Bank had a perfect stop. I think getting to pit out with about 20 seconds left to go on the clock is also a perfect stop. That lets the driver get his heartbeat down, gets a little bit, he can concentrate. Okay, I got to maintain this lead, no mistakes. You know, so you can just go through that and get yourself mentally prepared for what you're fixing to physically do.
Right. In the zone.
So they didn't take fuel. Is that
Wait, what? No, they did take fuel.
Bimmerline took fuel?
Yes, Bimmerline absolutely took fuel, because if they just did a driver change, they wouldn't have to
waited,
stop at
right.
pit out.
Well, they'd have to stop to drop off their clock, but they wouldn't be held.
No, they were held for 20 seconds.
Oh, okay. All right.
Finish off their time, yeah. Their last lap showing at 7:14. Yeah.
We don't have time. Yeah.
So our bank right there, they just went across the start-finish line. Because I saw them ping in race monitor. So they are turning laps. I know there's some concern about our bank. Are they turning laps? It appears as though they are. They just ran a 2:20, but that doesn't appear in Race Hero. No, there's 2:46.6. Refresh here. There's an issue with the Race Hero app, okay? The website, the connection, whatever it is, they've told us it's not working right. Now, when I refresh, it shows up. So now I refreshed, and it went from the gap being a lap to a 1:57 is the gap. 1 minute, 57 seconds to Bimmerline. Still doesn't show Bimmerline out. So if you're looking at Race Hero...
Well, Bimmerline wouldn't be credited until they cross the line after leaving pit, so they should be coming by any second.
Yeah, they're still shown in the pits.
Yeah.
So, and we've had this problem with this program before, where you have to continually refresh it to get updated information. So if you're looking for gaps, yeah. But if you look at Race Monitor, it looks like, yeah, I'm seeing them cross the start-finish line. Pinky's out, just went through. So we're still showing there that Bimmerline is leading the race, and our bank is still turning laps.
No, the huge jazz team was just up here wondering if we wanted to do an interview. And it's like, man, I wish we could, but you know, we're getting down to show and tell time. And he said,
"Hello, there's a close by car.
I hope you've been mentioning this." And it's like, yeah, every chance we get. This is their this is the best they've run.
They're in 11th place.
Yeah, Alex, right now, this is the only in-car camera we have that's working with a car that's on the racetrack.
A whole bunch of noises. He collected somebody's splitter under the car. They pulled the splitter out. A couple laps later, it closed.
Well, we heard somebody was dragging their splitter, or as I said, they were pushing it.
Splitter.
Yeah. I said, well, you know, the splitter's in the front, so they'd be technically pushing it. So evidently, so that was the...
Wyatt's in which car?
What car is Wyatt in?
He was driving the Leviathan car.
Okay, the MR2.
He actually raced in the not banned yet this weekend. They wanted to see how fast the car could go racing.
Well, that's a good person to put in.
He is a great driver. Pushes it very hard, though.
Yeah, he's very aggressive even in iRacing. You've been on iRacing with us, haven't you?
I have.
Yeah. I haven't been on lately. Mike keeps me busy. And Bill's even worse than Mike.
I believe it.
He's my boss when we're doing champ.
So we might have a car stranded on the back stretch.
Okay.
So we'll see if we can get this interval for you. Still showing us 1 lap.
Last time I checked, it's at 1 minute and 50 seconds. That's the information we're getting back from Race Hero.
The last lap I have recorded, 495 for Bimmerline was a 222.8, and our bank had a 219.5.
Yeah.
That's about 3 seconds, basically, a little bit over 3 seconds.
Oh, yeah, I was talking about the gap.
Well, that's what I was talking about.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's our bank still on track.
Okay, our bank just went past us.
The
Now show the gap at 147.
Okay.
Still saying the red line camera should be back up. Bimmerline.
Well, they.
Oh, really?
Red line on the front, right?
On the front, yeah.
Now I'm doing it.
Which camera is that?
Which in-car is that? One of the in-cars. It is not number 6.
Okay. I found it. It's in car 1.
So yes, Alex was asking if there's a car in camera 32. Yeah, I believe Bill got it back online when they did it. Currently driving the 507 car. I have no earthly idea. That was Rich asking that, my fellow board member. So yeah, that last lap when we recorded that gap at 147, Riverline had a 219.79. Our bank was a 219.73.
Wow.
That's what, 4 1,000ths of a second?
Yeah, Vern, it looks like our bank is on the lead lap. They got their lap back. And they're back almost 2 minutes behind.
Really, full course. Yellow.
This after 22 hours and 50 minutes. Oh, that's right. 507. Justin Litson might be in that car.
So we're going full course caution. And this might be for that car that it looked like I spotted a car driver's right on the backstretch.
There was a car stranded on the back straightaway, yeah.
Oh, okay.
They left it there for a minute to see if he could get going on his own. Apparently not, so they're gonna find him and get him.
Oh, the 507, yeah, it was the that Dotson.
Can you move closer to your mic, guys?
Sorry,
we're having trouble hearing you.
At the same time. And talk, I should know better. When the broadcast was down, I kept talking to Bill and Tiffany through the microphone like they could hear me.
Did it work?
No, it didn't.
Oh.
They made fun of me, Paulie.
I'm sorry.
It kind of hurt my feelings.
Yeah. Well, it kind of hurt my feelings too. And Mike said, "Way to go, Polly." I don't know what that meant. I didn't do anything.
Yeah. Mike might be delusional right now, suffering from lack of sleep like all of us.
So full course caution now.
Welcome back, Tyler.
Looks like the Futo rejects are in the pits, going through their driver change. That was quick.
Yeah, they have been.
Didn't take long.
No, I mean, most of these purple 35s have been for like 2-3 minutes. At night, it slightly increased. The visibility was down. So, Renette Baker is asking, is our bank racing on the lead lap? Yes, they are.
It looks like our tower camera went down, the one that looks at the front straightaway. Not sure what happened there.
Yeah, Tyler, I got a little bet going on. I got a beer bet. That riffraff racing, that's that Triumph TR6. They're still out there circulating. If you don't get their name, the RAF refers to the Royal Air Force. They've got a rondelle, like a World War II rondelle on it. That was great. The United States is the stars and bars kind of thing. Great Britain is the rondelle. Bill is not up here at the moment. Oh, there he is.
Oh, I see. Tower Cam 1 is coming up, 30 frames a second. Though I just heard some news that R-Bank may have lost first gear. We don't know. But,
First gear?
yeah, they had a hard time pulling out of the pit.
Oh, well, they won't be using that on the track.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, first gear won't affect them unless first gear affects another gear.
We have a problem keeping the phone in Bimmerline. So if you see that thing go flying out of the window, please let me know where on the track. I don't want the same thing to happen in the
park. You got there right before I did with that reference.
I have thoughtfully activated recording, so we'll have at least an idea.
Okay, good. Yeah, he's doing like 200 mile an hour on the back straight, so most likely we'd never find it. This race has been pretty tough on my equipment. I have one Galaxy S7 that's
you know, Daytona still sends me updates. No, we haven't found it. I found it. I'm just guessing one of the mowers found it.
That noise was, but
well, it used to be about the size of a pack of cigarettes. Now it might be considerably smaller. But there's a lot more of them. That's I think that car in front of Bimmerline is the Chattanooga and Turin Meisterschaft car. He's got a big, tall wing like that car. It's a little washed out. I can't see the colors, but he's having an awful time getting past him. You know, he pulls out the pass right before he got to the bridge.
Well, they don't need to push the car as fast as they were before either.
No.
They just need to stay ahead.
Yeah, but considering they're turning, 215s, that's getting around here. So you saw that the Bimmerline driver gave a nice thank you wave, especially if as they were approaching the S's. If you get stuck behind somebody, you're stuck behind them for a little while.
Paulie's got it stuck on camera 1.
No, we saw it.
Oh, okay.
I saw it.
Tooth Autosports is back out there. That's the team that's being supported by Low Tide Motorsports. They've been sponsoring our pit reports today.
Hey, guys. Just to let you know, we're going to, as soon as this race is over, we're going to go offline, and then I will record the award ceremonies later, and we will upload them to Facebook and then YouTube at a later time. So our folks have been pretty much at this for the last 36 hours. So, yeah, like I said, once the race is over, we'll record the award ceremony, and then we're going to pass out.
Yeah.
But we'll put them up on YouTube and Facebook for you guys.
So Thomas Ballister wants to know if the PR has a electric overdrive. I have no earthly idea.
I had that in a Humber Scepter.
I had an overdrive in my Triumph Spitfire, 79 Triumph Spitfire.
I had a Humber Scepter. It was the early 70s.
course, Rodney Earwood said, "Go Triumph." LOL. New fan, parentheses.
And that had the electric overdrive in it, which was pretty cool.
They still have a chance, so stop laughing.
I think the Mitsubishi overdrive system is pretty cool. The dual shift setup.
Yeah.
Remember that, Paulie?
Yeah, what now? I'm sorry.
The dual shift setup from Mitsubishi.
I had the last year.
Dual shift.
Yeah, the what was it? The Colt.
I'm having trouble hearing you.
They had a dual shifter in it.
Okay.
Looking at Doc and talking. I thought
No, I don't remember that, Bill.
I don't remember that. I was recounting a personal story of my own.
Ah.
I think Bill's heard every one of my stories. He's like, really again, Doc?
I can never repeat any of my stories. So.
Oh, I got plenty of those too. Trust me.
Yeah, it's about the time my wife was getting up listening to the show. Oh, Doc, you want some?
No, I don't need any crackers. Thank you very much, though. Tiffany's trying to fatten us up.
Right.
So she can kill us
Trying to
later.
keep you awake.
I know, I'm fairly well awake. I'm not making any sense, but that happens even when I'm wide awake, so how would I know the difference?
Oh, so Dan said the twin stick. So I take it one was like first and second, and the other was third and fourth or something? Like the shifters they used to use at the drag strip on the some of the transmissions?
It's like the Starion or something like that.
I've never seen that.
Challenger, you know?
Mitsubishi, Dodge, Colts.
I've had
Think,
a couple
Bill,
Dodge
think.
Colts.
People are waiting for your answers.
I know, they're on the edge of their seat. It's killing them.
Oh,
All right,
Paulie,
hold on a second.
We're spending way too much time together.
They're starting to talk alike.
Yeah, I know. I'm okay with Paulie as long as I don't start
Yeah, it
sounding
was a
like
Plymouth
you.
Champ. It had the twin stick shifter car. It had 2 shifters on it.
What's the point of that?
Hold on. It's called the Mitsubishi Super Shift Transmission. The twin stick, a manual transaxle transmission, in the late 70s and used in a limited number of companies' road cars, most of which were manufactured in the 1980s. It was unusual that it had 8 forward speeds and a 4x2 arrangement. It essentially installed a married overdrive unit into its manual transmission, something rare in a Brexit of this type.
And Triumph might have had this? Impossible.
No, I think they're...
No,
yeah,
it's a different setup. I think it was
it's a Dodge
had a
thing.
performance shifter, and then you had a efficiency, economy.
Well, he wants to know if the TR6 has a functioning electric overdrive. I do not know.
Probably not. Because remember, first of all, you have to have a Triumph functioning electric.
Oh, yeah, that's impossible.
Lucas.
Thank you, Lucas.
Prince of Darkness.
So, of course, that's why the English drink warm beer.
You ever want to read something extremely funny? Do a search on Lucas, Prince of Darkness by Satch Carlson.
Yeah.
My hero at Auto Week, man. He was so... It's the only reason I bought Auto Week was to read his stuff.
So Triumph was the first, and it was electric. Interesting. I had, like I said, I had the last year the Triumph Spitfire 79, and I had the 2 premium options combined in my car, which was fairly unusual. I had the overdrive and the hardtop.
Did you have those 8-mile-an-hour bumpers in it?
Yeah, I had the big rubber ones. Yep. But, you know, Spitfire, it had no power at all, but that car was a chick magnet.
So, a lot of baby chickens?
Yeah, a lot of baby chickens.
We had a car out here like that this weekend.
Yeah.
A goose magnet.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
R.I.P. Goose.
I had a Chevy pickup truck that was a 3 on the tree, and it had like it had a solenoid that when you engaged it, you could shift without depressing the clutch.
Oh, wow. Huh.
Which what it would do is when you took your foot off the gas, the RPMs would just drop like it was in neutral.
Huh.
So you wouldn't have any deceleration engine compression deceleration when it was engaged. And I searched at the time for anybody that knew what it was all about.
Yeah.
Because I had never seen anything like it, and the people, I was a tech at the time, and all of us were the same age, and none of us had ever seen anything like it. We didn't know what it was, but it worked. It was interesting. It just made it a little bit easier when you were, because the clutch was obviously a little stiff on a pickup truck, so maybe it was to alleviate some of that.
Right. Or maybe a tow helper for towing. I don't know.
Yeah, I used it a lot for towing, but you would think you would want that engine compression. It just really helped you with your upshifts. That's really all it was for. I would imagine. I don't know what else it would have been for.
We had a 68 Charger with 3 on the tree with a 318 in it. That was my high school car, my dad's car.
So I want to give a shout out to our brothers, the guys that help us out with the Champ Car Sim Series on Thursday nights at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or Pacific. That's Team Huge Jazz. They have moved up into 11th position. This is their best finish, assuming they hold on to this finish.
And Aaron's asking, is the BMW an M car? That would be a no. It's a 325. If it was an M car, they would be an EC.
Yeah. Or they'd be taking lots of laps.
Yeah.
I don't know what an M3 starts at.
That's not good.
Yeah, it's not good.
I tried that.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
3,000 laps.
Yeah, it was just outside the realm of reality. You're just not going to do anything with it.
Combination name for Bimmerworld / Redline Oil.
And they're also Lifeline, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
They got a lot going on. A lot of good stuff going
It was
on.
originally Redline.
Yes, and they still have the red line on the hood. But
I'm pretty certain that's what
I noticed the
Cameron told me too.
the Friday night party that Lifeline hosted with those awesome pretzel crack stuff. They were in the it was staged by the Bimmerline trailer.
Pinky's out. We're over 500 laps now.
Still nursing that BMW around.
Oh.
Seems to be working.
501, here's that poor car that only has first and second gear.
Can we do
Cobalt.
Are the laps correct for our winner being Visceral Racing for the Summer 24's trophy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Mike's asked me to update that, and I think I'll do that during Impound.
All right, so what we're going to do, if you guys didn't hear, Summer 24 trophy was won by Visceral Racing so far. There's really no way that our bank can catch them. So they blew up a motor, their first engine blown up ever. They left oil quite, in a lot of places.
Yeah, well,
And
basically
not in
from
the-
roller coaster down to...
Yeah, not in the engine. So they packed up and they're leaving today. So I told them that we would give them their trophy at Thompson. That's their home track, and I think that's a good.
Yeah,
they're
that's
going to
good
have their
thing.
families
But
there.
Mike does want to announce it here.
Yeah, we'll announce it here, and then we'll give there'll be a ticker tape parade for them, and
Yes.
Connecticut or
Yeah, the problem I'm thinking in that town is the ticker tape is thrown from the highest floor.
so the
Well,
post office might not be.
Does the confetti have enough room to separate, or is
Yeah.
it just basketball?
It will separate when it hits the ground.
Yes.
Or their faces.
'Cause it's like a ball, and then it.
You always see the streamers. I'm thinking this stuff is still going to be a roll.
We're going to issue them goggles beforehand, folks. We are safety conscious.
How about all hats?
Oh, the exhaust side of a shop vac may come in handy.
Yes. That's for the T-shirts that we're going
Kid,
to
they're
shoot out
probably
to everybody.
They're probably from a huge town.
Yeah, no kidding. Wait,
Hartford.
The state of Connecticut is not very big, is it?
No, it's mostly rich people. miles. Tracts of land.
Probably a lot
Huge tracts of land.
Probably a lot of lawyers too, so we need to really be careful about what we do.
Yeah.
No, Aaron, I'm sure it's not turbocharged. That too would set it out well into the EC range.
Now, the Bimmerline car has a lot of really good drivers, and these guys have been racing that car for at least, when did they first beat me? 12, 13.
Speaking of beating you, I did talk a lot about the Bad Brains car in Charlotte. You got to keep Bill humble. Bill was beating that race, and bless his heart.
I think we had a 42-lap lead. It goes up every time I talk about it.
yeah. It started out at 4.2 seconds.
We had 8 or 9 lap lead. Troy radioed in, hey, how many? Should I keep going? I'm like, yes, just put as many laps down as you can. But something's going to fail, and sure enough, 4 cylinders, 2 gears. Leviathan is. Oh, they're pulling it behind the wall.
I might have misspoke. I said by laps. No, it is mileage.
Yeah, lap mileage. That's right. Yeah, because there was like 10 million laps of Nelson Hedges.
Wait, what is
Paul sending us secret messages that we're not allowed to say.
No, he's sending me a PM.
A PM? Oh.
And it's not timestamped, so I can't tell. It just.
Why is the summer of 24 by lap count and not distance? It is by distance, Paul.
Yeah, I might have misspoke, or whoever was talking at the time. We've been up a long time.
I would still blame. I would still put. Make sure that Doc is doing the stuff right, guys. It's the checks and balances.
Keep him on his toes.
Yes, keep him on his toes.
I'm not the one that Visceral was loafing. Now, of course, I've given them a lot of credit. Instead of saying Bimmerline, I've been saying Visceral. And that's probably because we were discussing loafing so long.
Right.
There goes the 501, blazing down the front straight in second gear.
I might could have outrun that car.
The Opal could beat that car. Maybe.
I think maybe that was unusually slow. They may be down to just first gear.
No, that's not true. That was second.
Yeah.
So here's the numbers, and here's how I arrived at that Visceral has taken the trophy. So here's what we have. So most of this comes from information that Bill provided on our Facebook page. So it says, which we know is accurate.
We need
so
to get PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers up here.
All right. So it says currently Visceral Racing Group Porsche 944, 3,092 miles. So this was leading into today's race before we arrived here today. Okay, so 3,092 miles as of the end of Utah. Excuse me. So then. And they lead our bank racing, the number 90, 1,745.2 miles, with about 1,640 miles available at VIR.
Okay, so we can already calculate Viscerals since they've withdrawn from the race.
Right. So the difference would be roughly 300 miles, if my math is any good, and it usually is. It's about a 300-mile difference there, meaning.
Right now.
Meaning that Visceral would have to turn 300 miles in, and once they'd done that, there was no way that our bank would be able to catch them. Somehow my mind went there, and then that you divide that by 3.27, which is the distance of the racetrack, and you end up with 300 divided by 3.27 would give you 92 laps roughly.
Right.
So I gave them a little bit of cushion so that if they hit 92, they should have it. And they drove well over 92 laps.
All right. Yes, well over.
So I think if all of that information is right, huh? Yeah.
An English major, Paul?
But he's an
right.
guy.
But what's weird is this. I'm great with English, but not so great with spelling. Sometimes.
Yes, we know that.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Voice to text that is like, what the hell is Bill trying to say?
Oh, that's all right. on production videos.
Well, actually, to tell you the truth, I've never actually seen Bill talk and it turns to text. All he says was when he butchers something, he says, "Oh, that's voice to text."
It is voice to text. Not text and drive.
Very convenient. I love it.
That's the answer I was looking for.
I don't text and drive. I use that voice to text thing on the Android Auto or whatever.
Good.
It's my accent or lack of accent. I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well,
why is it quiet? A quiet racetrack is not a good thing. Ah, there we go.
oh,
292 is getting a black flag for passing in the grass, so they're bringing them in.
so we're race control being very consistent.
292. That is Race Team Inc. And the beautiful clouds over VIR. We're going to get through a race without rain.
Yeah, I believe.
Unbelievable.
Let me tell you, there's between 11 and 12, there's supposed to be a 33% chance of rain.
But looking out the window, I don't see that.
But we only got 45 minutes left. But anything's possible, right?
Well, and it was funny. I was talking to a driver, and it's like, man, this is really wild. It doesn't look like it's going to rain. And he said, yeah, but it's supposed to rain right about when we're packing up. And I went, oh, man, that is miserable. Because then when you get home, instead of relaxing, you got to immediately go to the trailer.
Everything's wet.
Everything's wet, so you got to spread the Easy Up out so it dries and doesn't mildew. Because they said almost anywhere where you're based, unless you're even if you're under a roof, your trailer gets hot.
Definitely.
So things will mildew in a heartbeat.
Plus, it's just kind of miserable packing up and moving stuff and putting stuff away. And you're tired. It's been a long weekend.
Well, and you can kind of look up and down pit road. The smart guys have started already packing up because they've done their last stop. So my guys are always starting to pack up and move stuff to the trailer. That's why I always try and get the last stint in the car. Because I don't walk so good anymore. So I'm mostly the traffic cop. When I get out of the car, I tell everybody, okay, that goes there and it comes in the trailer in this order. Because my trailer is starting to get pretty full.
Do they actually put things where they belong?
Yes, they do.
Oh.
There's a look at the weather radar as some storm clouds are moving in. Red is bad, by the way. I found that out.
Yeah.
Ask me how I know. Yeah. And that, there is some weather coming towards the track. And it's a pretty wide. It's coming from North Carolina all the way up into Virginia and on and up.
So we're following two races. We're following the Lifeline R-Bank race on the track, and we're following the race to the checker with the rain.
Right.
What we need is another race to follow. I'm getting bored. Let's get 3.
No.
What else can we follow?
Yeah.
My wife doesn't understand it. I can do a 24-hour race, and then when I get done, I want to see the Formula One race.
Was there
sit down and watch that
today?
No.
Are they on?
But usually there is.
Now?
They're on summer break.
Yeah. Okay. Man, they can't even go to their shops on summer
Whoa.
break.
Really?
No, and they can't communicate.
No, they're forcibly on vacation.
Yeah, they come and take your laptop and then do an arm sweep of your penthouse and stuff to make sure you don't have any devices that you might be able to talk to somebody. They're very strict. Actually, they put a personal guard with you 24/7. Yeah.
Brenton, we're not going to be live we're going to be alive, but not live for the trophies. We're hoping to be alive when the trophies are presented. We may not be. But no, that's going to be recorded and uploaded later to the web. So, yeah, sorry. Apparently some people are asking about the trophy and everything again. And so, yeah, so what we had was information that we got back, and this was also published on our Facebook page, is that Visceral Racing Group had completed 3,092 miles between Nelson Ledges and Utah, those two 24-hour races. And our bank racing 1745.2.
Get that sheet of paper from
So that left about a 300-mile difference if Visceral completed 300 miles, being that there was only 1640 available at this race roughly, then they would by default take the win.
Can we go private, me and you?
Yeah, just a second. I'm almost done. Which meant that Visceral just needed to complete 92 laps in order to take that trophy, assuming that they're not going to forfeit or be disqualified. It doesn't look like that's going to happen since they broke, okay? So that's the information that we have. Again, that was published on our Facebook page, and that's information that Bill put up there. So that came from ChampCar, okay? So Bimmerline still leading the race, as they have been for several hours. It's been so long, I don't remember when they took the lead, but we had some of the cars that were up front that looked pretty strong. It was not banned yet. Actually had a pretty good lead going on the race yesterday until around 1 p.m. Well, they took the lead around 1 p.m. and then they had a fuel rail. They cracked a fuel rail, which took them out of the race, which could have been pretty devastating. It could have ended in a terrible fire. Fortunately, it did not. So that handed the lead over to Bimmerline, and we had an EC car that was up there too. And I'm looking through the running. I don't know. I've slept since then. Where are they? Looks like they are not. I don't see them right now in the list. But anyway, the Miata. The Miata, yeah.
We were talking about that earlier. Now I've forgotten.
Well, they were leading too, and then they pitted and handed the lead over to Bimmerline, and they really haven't looked back since then. So it was Bimmerline, Arbank, and one of the SRI racing machines. I think it was the 67 car. Yes. That was another car that was in contention up front. And Pinky's Out was behind them, if I recall. There was they changed positions. And then the 67 car had contact with the wall.
Yes.
And that took them out.
Yes.
So Team Troxel there, we talked about those guys. When they were down, languishing down around 17th or so, we were saying, hey, that's a team we would expect to see further up. Well, they've gradually worked their way up, and they're now in 4th place. And then there's Bad Brains Racing in 6th. Hugh Jass in P11 behind the Whiskey Tango Foxtrot Mazda. So unofficially about 37 minutes remain.
And this one.
You're welcome, Vern.
That's 23 hours and 22 minutes.
Hard to believe, huh? Seems like just yesterday we started this. Oh, wait, we did.
Yeah.
That's right.
Meanwhile, my eyes are trying to point at each other.
Yeah, you guys got to be beat.
And then Doc and I get to try to drive back. I'm going to try to make it to Atlanta tonight.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
So just a rundown as to what's happened here since the beginning of the race yesterday. We went checkered. We went green at noon. I don't have the official start time, but it was very close to the top of the hour there. Cars number 912, which was the Pontiac Firebird, was in the pits early, as well as the 522 car, which caught fire out on the racetrack with about 45 minutes into the race. They were able to get that fire out very quickly and get it into the paddock area. Driver was uninjured, but the car was retired at that point. And nonetheless, they were pushed back behind the wall, along with Wynham and Dynam, who had a failed engine at that point, very early again in the race. Not Band Yet then took the lead around 1 o'clock. While this was happening, Wynham and Dynam was sourcing an engine through one of the, I think one of the team members. They had an engine, and they ran to get that in Charlotte and bring it back and install it, which they did successfully install through the night and got the car back out on the racetrack. So NLS rejoined the race around 1:45 in the morning, and so we've got that's when. No, excuse me. Would that be right? No, it would have been 1:45 in the afternoon. So this was still yesterday. So we had trying to read my own writing here, which is always a challenge. Lifeline came into the pits at 1:30 with front end damage, so the car was damaged. They managed to pop out the front end and get the car back on track. From the time that we saw that they were damaged at 1:30, they were back on the racetrack at 1:35. Cars 150 and 210 were black flagged for passing under caution. Now, there were many other cars that did as well, but those are just some notes that I had. Bad Brains was one of those cars, and they were brought in for passing under yellow. And this was around 2 o'clock. Apex Predators at 3 o'clock were disabled on the racetrack, so that car was retrieved. And we really haven't had any hot pulls. They've all been, they go to full course caution, pull the car, go back to green, but those full course cautions have been short. They've been able to get the cars pulled and get back to green very quickly. The only red flag of the race we had was at the beginning when the Tuath Autosport car caught fire, and that too was not terribly long. So at 3:40 p.m. Beast Mode was towed in with they'd had contact and broke a wheel. And this was around the time that the Chattanooga Touring Wagon Master Chief car had a overheat condition, possible blown head gasket, and they worked to replace the cylinder head. Unfortunately, they still suffered from overheat issues throughout once that was replaced, but were still able to go out there and turn a lot of laps. Around 7 o'clock, we had oil down. That caused a full course caution. It was rather lengthy to get that cleaned up. And at 7:50 is when the RVA Graphics and Wraps crew, both of their cars were retired. The 511 car, which is an EC M-Series car, had a spun bearing, and the 111 broke a CV axle and possibly the differential. And then around... I'm sorry?
Angelina was asking on Facebook, are we live on YouTube? Yes, I can only assume so. We lost that feed.
Yeah, we're live. We're live on YouTube
Barry
too.
Anderson, my buddy in Germany, says great coverage from you guys and girls. Really enjoyed all the thoughts and opinions. So I just got back from timing and scoring. I asked him how many cars do we still have hanging, and it's basically hovering right around 47. You figure we probably at any one time we got 2, 3, maybe 5 cars on pit row. So and I would imagine we'll have a couple of cars when it gets close to the checkered flag will come out from the paddock, and I'll give them that, you know, as a finish because I've done it. So we're gonna finish with over 50% of the field finishing.
Sure.
Out of 99 cars that started.
It's pretty good. That's better than what we did last year, actually.
Well, and I tell you what, anybody that finishes this race, my hat's off to them, and that even goes for that Cobalt that's struggling out there in first and second gear the entire race.
Exactly.
So, getting back to my rundown, then 9:30 last night. That was when Visceral Racing Group lost their engine. They were working their way up towards the front, so we had a close eye on them. So that was disappointing for those guys. And then at 11 o'clock at night, that's when the Not Banned Yet team, their fuel rail cracked. Unfortunately, the car didn't catch fire. Well, that would have been pretty devastating to have fuel being pumped into the engine compartment and on fire.
Holly, I hate to interrupt you, but 9-0, who's running in second place, is getting a black flag, a stop and go. Just FYI.
Oh, okay. So they are being black flagged. Okay.
Who?
That's the R-Bank car.
What are they being black flagged for?
I just heard that.
It's potential that they may have been over on their driver stint, one of their driver stints.
Gotcha.
So
well, that won't require a 5-minute stop. So
yeah, I don't think it may be academic at this point, really.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to hurt them as far as their position. It certainly isn't going to help them.
Right. They're on lap 512 and third place is 504. So.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Tiffany. So. Ratchet Racing spun a bearing at 11:15, still going into the night. Last night, the cool running racing, the Porsche had big front end damage around 11:30 at night.
Not for
the driver
you would normally think.
Yeah, the driver was injured, but not seriously. There was some talk about a concussion. The driver was taken to the hospital.
I was talking about the time they hit the Canadian Goose.
Oh no! This was the heavy impact where it damaged the car. It had a lot of damage to the front end of the car. And the Turbo Tater GTI blew blew their turbo gaskets out at 11:30. Rolling Roadblock Racing broke a header at 11:45. You don't really blow a header, you break it. And so at let's see, right around that time is when the Wynham and Dynam car got back out onto the racetrack after their engine swap. And around midnight we got word that the Pinky's Out car was slipping a clutch. So it didn't look good for them at that point, but they've managed to keep that car on the racetrack and keep going. So congratulations to them for that. And then fog began rolling in by that time, especially by 1 o'clock. It had reached probably its worst. There was some pretty significant fog, and we weren't really seeing the lap time slow down very much, but it was definitely an issue. And some of the drivers we noticed were complaining that they simply couldn't drive in those conditions with the darkness and the fog on the racetrack.
I think mostly it affected the safety crews that were out there picking up cars.
So 5:30 then in the morning, KH collected the wall, did a significant amount of damage to that Mustang, but they were able to get back out and keep running.
Max Beach says hello.
So at 9 o'clock this morning, the Bimmerline car we're on board with right now were black flagged. And I think that was for aggressive passing.
Yes, they put 2 wheels off under the bridge or near the bridge to pass a car. So Champ Car brought them in, black flagged them. No penalty. It was a stop and go. I'll get it to you, Mike, while I'll do the calculations during impound.
And also then the final note that I have is the number 67 SRI car impacted the wall, and that caused them to have to retire the car.
So, Paulie, one of the things I don't think you caught wind of was an update on Ella E-Racing's BMW. There is
No.
our bank going down pit row. So what happened, to make a long story short, is Elon had a guy call him and said, hey, I got 4 people who want to race your car at Virginia. In the 24 hours, will you bring it up and your crew? And he said,
Going full course caution.
let me work out the numbers. Worked out the numbers. They worked out a deal, and these 4 guys show up. So one of the drivers was somebody rather famous. That would be the original Stig.
Oh, really?
Was here racing in Ella. So the crew made him sign the car, made him sign all their shirts and everything like that. So Bill was away at this time, and when he gets back, I said, Bill, you know, we had another celebrity racing with us. And, you know, he tried to play it off because I said, guess who it is? And he says, I don't know, you know. And I said, it was the Stig. And he goes, which one?
Right.
I said, well, it's the original guy. I went and found out this information. I said, it's the guy that played the Stig for 8 seasons. And he said, oh, my God. He said, I saw him. I knew I recognized him, but I just thought I recognized him from Champ Car. So we missed a chance to get an interview with the Stig. We are changing, indeed, I think, the tagline on Champ Car Endurance Series to where the stars go to race.
Okay. Andrew, I don't know for sure, but we did hear something about that there was talk about our bank going over on their driver stint. So if they did, that would explain why it kind of coincides with the timing of when I heard that to when they were black flagged.
Yeah,
so,
I
but I don't know for sure.
Good, but I do not know.
So it could have been something else.
You know, and I didn't personally see their stop. Maybe they didn't change drivers at that stop and just fueled the car. It doesn't make sense to me. Because Robin,
Or maybe trying to hang out and get to the 2-hour mark where they wouldn't have to stop again. They overextended that session before.
Could be. Oh, that might have been it. So anytime you don't think timing and scoring is paying attention, wrong.
Everybody's paying attention all the time.
Well, they pay close attention to the guys up front for sure.
The guy pitting next to you is dang sure keeping track.
Yeah, I came into the pits once with I came into the pits once with Jerry, and I failed to hit the kill switch. I turned the car off, and right away the grid marshal's all over the car, banging on the hood. Kill the power, kill the power. It's like, how did you even see that already? And he's in front of me. Like, you can't see the tail lights. How do you know? they're all over you.
So we did the race by mile, or the summer 24s by miles, right?
Troy Isidore has an update from an earlier story. He's like, hey, Doc and Tiffany, good news. I found out that my wife was watching the movie Twister.
Troy's going to be racing with us at Gingerman here in a couple weeks in the Green Dragon with us, so that'll be fun.
When he got up early this morning, he says, should I be worried? Judge Judy was on. Is it Judge Judy or?
No, I think it was like Dr. Ruth or something.
Dr. Ruth, that was it. And I didn't get it. I had to be filled in.
I don't get it either. I'm out of the loop, but that's normal for me.
She's evidently some sort of sex doctor.
Judge Judy?
No, Dr. Ruth.
I was wrong. Dr. Ruth.
Oh, okay. I was going to say. Yeah, Dr. Ruth is.
Please solicit all mail to Doc.Waldrop at ChampCar.org.
Like back from the 90s, yeah. That was a long time ago.
Paul Cruz, please solicit all email to Doc Walter. The two cars being towed in behind the tow truck.
No.
That must be what had bloated up. There's a car that blew up coming down the roller coaster. Supposedly it left a big, tall plume of smoke. All the magic smoke disappeared, and he had to be towed in by a Chevy. Okay, Nissan. God,
Here's a look at the weather moving in on Danville. You can see just at Martinsville some clouds developing there. So
yeah, Martinsville is
this is the and this is the future, of course.
The future is Martinsville?
No, Martinsville would be to your west, Bill.
No.
Danville is. Look at the map here.
Oh,
Danville's in the middle.
I'm sorry.
You're thinking of Henderson.
This is your adopted state.
No, I'm up where it says Lynchburg. That's where I live. I just live
You have a much closer
about the
commute.
top of the L is where I live. So.
Yeah.
I don't think
the guy I
my home
talked
was
to,
on that map.
the guy I
I
talked
don't think
to
my home was on that map.
was about 5 o'clock in the morning. I talked to this guy. He says, "Yeah, it looks like the rain's going to hit right about when we start packing up to leave." And it's like, "Oh, that's a long way from now." And he said, "Yeah, well, watch." He clearly knows better than me.
Yeah, Chris, Not Banned Yet had a broken fuel rail, and that put them out of the race. They didn't have a spare.
Yeah, and James told us he had his hands on them.
On the fuel rail.
Yeah, on the fuel rail. Didn't bring him though. He said he almost grabbed one.
Said he had two of them.
The fuel rails.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said they. It's one of those parts they always had the trailer, and I thought, well, it's one of the guys said, well, we haven't never needed this, and or at least for a long time, and
So we won't carry
yeah,
one.
so we won't carry it. I kind of did the same thing with some of the spares in my car for.
Never a hub.
I didn't have any rear hubs because we'd never broken a hub since 2014.
So here's the thing.
Yes.
We're about 20 minutes away from the end of the race. We should probably get a camera to catch that checkered flag with the guy coming under it.
Bill just sighed very heavily.
Because I actually don't have a camera. Or just face the camera that way. You don't even have to go down there if you don't want to.
Oh, no, I want to go down there. I want to be there when Bimmerline and, James Clay win another trophy. That goes back to the first trophy I won with ChampCar. They beat us.
No.
I know.
Paul Cruz mentioned on our Facebook feed, he says, "I stopped bringing fuel rails as spares too. And I'm going to start again." Because that's all.
You bring everything you don't want to have to replace.
Paul doesn't even have the same kind of car.
So Troy just bought himself, Julio from Biohazard MR2, just bought a new trailer to tow two cars with.
I thought that was a new trailer.
Yeah, and he's building another car, so he's going to start bringing two cars to the track to make money. That's what you do. And I told him, man, you should have got the 3-axle because of all the damn spare parts you're going to have to carry, because you got to carry 2 of everything now. And, we'll be all right. But no, it's to the fact of, or to the point of, sometimes you kind of have to have a tractor trailer.
Yeah.
Just to tow all the parts.
That's a 2-axle trailer?
We want to bring everything so you don't have to.
2-axle, yeah. But it's a really heavy duty.
How
axle.
long is it?
No, Troy's is 32 foot.
Oh, okay, that's a long trailer.
Yeah, but it looks really big next to. It looks really, really big next to Troy. Really, really big.
What was that? Something just fell from the roof outside our picture windows.
All right, I guess I need to go set up. We have 20 minutes left. I tore down my. I'll put it back on.
Are we going to do Impound Live, Bill? Or? Okay, cool.
What did he say?
We are not going to do Impound Live. He's going to
Okay.
record that, and we will upload it later.
Then he
All right.
back.
So Impound and awards are all going to be done after the fact, uploaded later. We'll
Yeah.
close the show out after we
Yeah.
get done, after we all have lost interest
We're
at the end
all
of the race.
pretty toast, and there's a lot of gear up here to move down so we can get back on the road to our homes.
Except for me, I'm actually very well rested.
I bet you are. And good for you. Because we don't have a broadcast without you.
Right?
Oh my gosh. I guess we
We've been
found
up
that out.
Like what, 7 o'clock yesterday? AM?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember what time I crawled in bed. 7 something. And I set my alarm for an hour, and whatever happened, it didn't wake me up. And I must have my phone on vibrate, so all the phone calls that Bill made to wake me up, my phone's right next to my
It's
head.
going to take you about a day to erase all those calls on voicemail.
Yeah. Yeah, tell me about it. There was a lot.
I'm surprised you had any battery left.
Yeah. Well,
Just from it ringing.
and then to get up and have Mike Chiswick say it's all my fault, I'm like, what are you talking about?
Oh, he's kidding.
I'm like, everything was perfect. We had no problems with tech when I went to bed.
Right.
So it's the same thing that happened the last time. So there's something going on with the script that we're running.
It's your magic touch.
Ah, that's it. Well, it's nice to be needed. I always say that.
Yes. And we do desperately need you.
Well, thanks. I guess that's
Well, I mean,
keeps me employed.
basically the inmates in charge of the asylum when you're gone. We have no adult supervision. Probably, well, we kind of do because we have Connor.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. I always look to my son for direction and guidance because he's 20. He is a legal adult.
Yes.
He's the most awake of any of us.
Vincent up here right now.
All right. We got Bill is live and marching downstairs. I'm going to try and get... There we go. Get that capture set up for Bill. Let's see here.
15 minutes to go, unofficially. Unofficially. Did I mention that's unofficial?
Yes.
I'm glad I did that.
All right.
My eyes have ceased to focus.
Are you on my camera or something? No, you're not on my camera.
We're getting there. Yeah, we're not
That's
there
all
yet.
right. I was just running into walls and people, so.
My eyes probably look like Chinese railroad tracks. I don't know what that means. I heard it once.
Again, send all emails to doc.waldrop.
Hey, Bill, do you know offhand what time my appointment is with Human Resources? I'm sure I'll find it in my email.
No sitting. Hey, the Mustang is back out.
Yeah, I figured we'd pick up a couple of cars that were in the paddock.
Yeah, he's just waiting. He's sitting there waiting.
I've done that. And I'm damn proud of it.
He's dropping on the radio.
Okay, so we've got your camera working, Bill, but you're not live right now, but we've got your camera working. We can go to it.
Which way is my camera pointing? At me or?
It's pointing at your head.
Oh.
I want to give a shout out to Huge Jazz. I was hoping they might pick up a top 10, but if things keep going the way they are, their best finish. Great job, guys. They help us out a lot with the Champ Car Sim series we run on Thursday nights, by the way. Come on out and join us.
Yeah. Thanks, guys, for all you do. Hugh, appreciate you and all the effort that you put into that. And so thank you.
So just looking over, we haven't talked much about Damson Racing. They're currently in 9th. Bad Brains has recovered fairly well to run in 6th. They're going to get 500 laps. How many laps did we finish with last year?
Ooh,
I probably have that information.
We did look at that as we were kind of getting an idea of how many laps they might turn, but we've had no rain this year.
Yes.
We've had a lot of yellows, though.
It's going to be more this year, more laps.
Yeah, definitely.
I think I do right now. I didn't keep a lap count every 2.5 hours like I do now. I just write down what the ending lap was. And last year, the R Bank completed 502 laps, and Lifeline completed 498. So coincidentally, that is, if everything holds the way it's going now, Lifeline is going to finish, I think, 2 or 3 laps ahead of R Bank. So it's a tie ball game almost. They'll have to duke it out again next year.
Yeah, you can use for interview.
Yeah. So that's bad.
I have tracked a big pile of ants.
You should probably soak your socks in kerosene there, Doc.
Good one. Got me with my own joke.
Hey!
Nope, I would have taken the same shot.
Back. These cars are still racing out here. We got guys going into turn 1 with the rear brakes all locked up, making the turn, trying to get the passes in.
Yes, the 90 is in the pits.
90 is in the pits.
Yes.
90 comes back into the pits after serving a black flag penalty.
That's why Robin looked all worried. There's no urgency.
Yeah, I didn't see that happening.
They still got 5 laps over 3rd place, so
They're pretty safe there. Maybe.
He's got water. He's giving water to the driver. I can't tell. I'm on the opposite side. Hold on. Power's still on the car. Guys are all standing around the car. Huge ass is now going out. And folks, this weekend we'll have pictures. All you guys here, we got about 3 or 4 photographers here. We'll have all the pictures up by the end of the week. And we'll have you links for those. Yeah, the car restarted. They got to push start the car.
Oh, did you hear something about Visceral? They may be. Yes. Gosh.
So they're running down to the pit out to help push start the car.
Yeah. Did you hear something that our bank may have been losing a gear?
Yeah, they had a problem with first gear.
Got him going. Robin, what was that stop for?
Fuel.
Oh,
All
they
right,
had
so
to
they
top
just
off
needed,
fuel.
they had to top just a splash and dash to get him around the track.
All right. Good job, Bill.
Bill's always in the right place at the right time.
I'm just trying to find the best place to go to. I think it's gonna be right here.
Someplace where you won't get hit. Okay.
Yeah, that's always a good idea. Someplace where you won't get
So we can see him right there.
Yeah. Got about 7 minutes, 6 or 7 minutes.
It's about 2 laps. There goes the 50 car, the 240Z. Yeah, there's my other camera. Can't forget that. Mounted to the fence. You're on me.
They hit it out. I looked at my clock and it's green, and I swear to God.
These guys are still racing hard. Every lap counts. Some of these cars are getting pretty beat up. The hoods are barely holding onto the hood pins. Some of them are extremely beat up, like the 419. Whole driver's side of the car and left side of the car is just completely caved in.
Bimmerline just gave the point by as they come down the front straightaway, Bill. They're coming to you. They just...
Yeah, I got them right here. And they let our bank go by. That was our bank that went by them. Well, we got a spin in turn 1. Spin in turn 1. The driver's off into the dirt. We got a yellow into turn 1. We got 4, 5, 6 cars going in.
Thanks so much.
Looks like Bimmerline made it through there cleanly.
Okay, the car made it back on track. He made it way out there, but he's back on track. I don't know which one it was.
Well, our bank and Bimmerline made it through cleanly somehow through all of that.
Yep. It was one of the Miatas. There's 2 Miatas there, but there's one of them that just went way out there. Just way too hot into that corner.
There's the R bank Saab just ahead. Still in P2. 5 minutes.
There goes our Chevy.
I don't know what Ross's question is. No, he is not.
Really quiet. Chevy was really quiet, not like he's winding it out.
Bimmerline trying to find a way around, going through the S's here. Makes it through. Bimmerline coming down the hill to Oak Tree. Now on the back stretch, going up through the gears again, climbing the hill. Another car goes by Bimmerline.
So one of the traditions is they let the teams go out to the rail. There's a small strip of grass that separates pits from the actual racing.
You're not allowed to cross over into that grass, though. Only me.
Exactly, yeah. They will signal them when the last lap, and you'll see everybody run out here.
Bimmerline coming around 17A, so he should be coming by you shortly, Bill.
There goes our bank.
Am I getting a picture?
The crew standing.
There's Bimmerline right here. No, that's not Bimmerline. There comes Bimmerline. There they are. That was the fuzzy BMW. 1 lap to go. 1 lap to go.
Okay, so they're being told.
There goes the 728 Mustang is heading out.
Teams are being told they can come out to the guardrail.
Into the grass. Can you? A lot of people are.
Everybody.
Last lap for Bimmerline. They've led a substantial portion of the race. Last time underneath the wave of thank you underneath the Nissan bridge. Heading to the uphill S's.
Guys, have to go back.
And there's the lodge just off to the left. Now up to the left-hander. That'll take him down to Oak Tree. Down the hill he goes. Into Oak Tree for the final time.
Dying here.
Rounds Oak Tree and heads on to the back straightaway. The audio a little bit off from the video there, but climbing the hill.
Any further off than we are.
Coming up to the top of the hill here, heading down into roller coaster here shortly.
Man, there are a lot of people waiting to cheer their teams home. There must be, I don't know.
Oh, somebody just slowed big time coming down the hill.
All right, Bill, we're going to go to you as Bimmerline is headed your way.
All right, yeah, some folks slowed down big time. There's our bank. Got to do another lap. Bimmerline's coming up. You should be coming down the hill here.
Yep, he's coming to you, Bill.
There he is.
There he is. And I missed it. Sorry.
Oh, you got it. Checkered flag.
Checkered flag's out, boys and girls. 24, the Lifeline 24-hour classic is complete. 24 hours at one of the toughest endurance tracks in the United States.
So, Paulie, do you happen to have the, what's the total miles of this track?
3.27.
Thank you.
1 million miles.
Bimmerline celebrating, waving to the corner workers as they go through. They've won the Lifeline 24-hour classic of 2018.
So this is a big deal for these guys. You know, finishing a 24-hour race is one of the toughest things you could ever do. Hartbank came so close. Who's dominated the 24-hour endurance racing in these amateur series for many years now. But Bimmerline wins. With James playing, guest full of drivers, they did awesome this weekend. Here comes the Mustang. Finishing the Lifeline 24-hour classic at BIR. Still got cars coming down the the roller coaster. Guys pumping their hands in their windows. This is big. Pulling cars off into the grass. I don't know why he did that. I think because that race was coming up behind him really fast. He might not have had the speed. There's their second place car right there. They were 3 wide going into the finish. There goes the Pontiac. Solstice. More BMWs crossing the finish line as the checkered flag waves. The Triumph passes the checkered flag. A Triumph finishes a 24-hour race. The thing's older than most of the people here.
You're welcome, Rodney. Thanks for hanging out with us.
That was a fun race, guys. I'd like to thank everybody, you know, all my crew, Doc, Tiffany.
Enjoyed it, brother. Let's do it again sometime.
Yep. And Paulie and his little man trophy.
Thanks, Bill.
And thanks, Paulie. That was awesome, except for that little bit where we lost everybody. But Bill in a panic.
Other than that, it was great.
The only thing, yeah, the only great thing about it was I just gave up and just went to sleep.
all part of the plan there.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll abandon the broadcast. Blame it on Paul. I'm going to get some sleep.
All right, boys and girls. Everybody, go to bed. Have some fun. And we'll be back 2 weeks. Or I will be back in 2 weeks. I don't know if you guys will. Still got to talk about that. All right. Back to you guys. Right. Have fun.
Okay. Well, I guess that's going to do it for us for this broadcast. The Lifeline 24-Hour Classic brings to a close our summer of 24s.
Well, we need to check our calculators. I just ran the totals on these finishing positions between Visceral and R-Bank. R-Bank completed 520 laps on a 3.27 mile configuration course to end up on this race with a 17:03.67, added to their previous two races, which was a 17:45.2. And I get that R-Bank had 3,448.87 miles completed. Now,
okay.
Only did 199 laps.
All right.
Again, on a 3.27 mile configuration course for a total today of 650.73 miles. Added to their previous total, which is 3,092 miles, to give them a grand total of 3,742.73.
Ah.
So it's basically a 300-mile difference.
Right.
That's closer than I think we thought, isn't it?
300 miles is what I had.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind then.
92 laps. That was the difference. They just Visceral had to do 92 laps.
Okay. Well, I guess just in my mind, I thought it was going to be closer. I'll make this where you can read it, Mike. He's looking at
all right.
You always write like this?
All right, so I guess that's going to do it for us. Doc, again, a pleasure, sir. Tiffany, if you're still there, a pleasure. Yep. I guess not. Car still pulling in off the racetrack. And again, folks, we'll get the impound and the award ceremony videotaped, if they still call it that anymore, and uploaded.
I serve at your pleasure, sir.
Thanks. It's been a pleasure, sir. I appreciate you. And we should do this again sometime.
Yeah, a couple of weeks maybe or something.
All right. So for Bill Strong, Tiffany Alexander, Doc Waldrop, I'm Paul Veltum, signing off for now. We'll see you on the other side, folks. Doc, you got to say bye.
Bye.